Hello, my name is Nathan Gould, and in today's video I want to talk to you about how we configure archiving in the Lasernet connector. So the archive functionality is used to basically save a copy of whatever it is we're generating in an archive within finance and operations. We've got two options for this. One is a general archive, which shows us all of the different reports that have been run per legal entity, and the other one is a journal archive, which allows us to see what has been run per individual report. We use this in a number of different situations, not so often in production environments because the archive can fill up very, very quickly, especially if you're generating thousands of invoices or thousands of pick lists every day. But when we're doing testing, it can be really useful to have a copy of what has been run. You can see how the XML or how the output has changed based on your changes to the query or changes to the data. And we can also keep track of who has been running the reports. So somebody might say something's been tested, but the records in the archive will prove to you that they have been tested. So that's one of the reasons why we use it. Let's have a look in finance and operations to see how to configure it. So in this environment here, we can see that I've created this report called archive example. And it's just a report which is looking at the cost table and giving me a list of customers. The important thing for the archive is this information down here under the archive tab. So I've set archive to default, which means always archive it, destinations to archive to all, which means everything that we generate is going to get saved, and then save XML as yes, which means I want to save a copy of the XML message as well as the output that it generates. So we have that all set up, ready to archive. You'll see that this journal button is grayed out. But as soon as I go to set up and run report and click on OK, this report is going to run. This is my preview to the screen, and if this was a real report for a real customer, this would get printed or emailed, and then we can get rid of the preview. But now we can see the journal is no longer grayed out. So because we've set this to archive and save the XML, we can go into the journal and we can see that we've run this once and there's a copy saved there. We can see all sorts of information about it, where it's been stored, and also we can go to preview and we can actually inspect what we've sent. So this is the XML message which was sent to generate the report output. And this is the report that it generated. So that's really, really useful when you're running testing, you're making changes to your reports. We can see what's been happening in this journal archive per report. If we go into the list of modules, go to our Lasernet module, and then go to archive, we can see that actually in here is a list of all of the different reports that have been run. So whereas we were just looking at our one archive example before, we can see there's been a lot of testing happening in this environment with all of these different reports. So that's how the archiving functionality works in the Lasernet connector. Couple of little tick boxes, and then we save a copy of whatever we've run. We can view that copy either from on the report itself in the journal, or we can see everything that's run in the archive.